Hi, I'm Lina Nielsen and today I'm going to take you through a yoga flow for anxiety. So women, we know that at certain times in the month we tend to feel a little bit low and feel a little bit anxious. So this flow is going to be great for making you feel a little bit more relaxed, taking away that anxiety, that uncertainty, and hopefully make you feel a little bit more bright and hopeful. So when you're ready, let's get started. So we're going to get started in a comfortable seated position. So if you want to, you can have a cushion underneath your bum, just for a little bit of elevation. Whatever you can be comfortable in for about 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to start to focus on our breath and hopefully get that to relax us and take away some feeling of anxiety. So once you've found your comfortable seated position, I'm going to stay here in easy seated pose. You can take a lotus, a half lotus, you can sit on your knees. I'm going to give you a second to get comfortable. We're going to slowly start to wind down. So I want you to roll the shoulders back and relax. And I just want you to take awareness to the jaw and the mouth. See if you can release the tongue from the top of your mouth and let it relax at the bottom. Straight away, that's going to release tension in the jaw. Good. And then just slowly take awareness to your eyebrows. If you feel like your eyebrows are lifted, just slowly release that area as well. Good. And then we're going to take awareness down towards the shoulders. So if you feel like your shoulders are all the way up near your ears, we're going to take them down. Helps to roll them back. Good. And we're taking all the awareness down towards the hips. At this point, there isn't really much we can do, but when you're in a seated position, you'll feel that your inner thighs are holding onto some kind of lock. We're going to release that. So I noticed the right inner thigh was a little bit locked. Good. And we should hopefully start to feel a little bit almost heavier, a little bit more loose. And then we're going to start to work on our breathing. So we're going to do a pranayama breathing technique. So pranayama is basically a breathing discipline in yoga, and it's what helps you get in tune with the breath. So what I want you to do is take your thumb on your right hand to press the right nostril down. We're going to take index and middle finger to rest in between our eyebrows, and then the ring finger, the ring finger to press down, or to be ready to press down on the left nostril. So we're going to inhale through the left nostril. We're going to hold the breath. And then you're going to press down on the left nostril and release the thumb from the right nostril, and you're going to breathe out. And then we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to inhale through the right. Hold. We're going to press the thumb down to close the right nostrils and exhale through the left. And we're going to work on alternating these breaths for 10 more breaths. So we're going to be here for quite a while, which is why I wanted you to come into a comfortable seated position. So inhale through the left. Hold. At this point, you can close both nostrils and then exhale through the right. So that was breath number 3. We've got 7 more. Inhale through the right. Hold. And exhale through the left. I'm going to count with you. So 6 more. Inhale. So this is called Nadi cleansing breath. Exhale through the right. And what it does is, in traditional yogi philosophy, they believe that through our body, exhale through the left, we have energy channels running through everywhere. From the tips of our fingers, inhale through the left. Hold all the way down to the tips of our toes. Exhale through the right. Okay, so we've got 4 more in your own time. I trust you to do it on your own now. I'm going to talk you through this breath. So we've got all these energy channels that run through our bodies from the spine all the way down to the toes. And occasionally we can have blockages through these channels. And that's what can help you or make you feel uncertain and make you feel a little bit anxious. So they believe if you can cleanse these nadis or these energy channels, then you can release some of these blockages and release some of that anxious feeling. And if you even don't believe that that works, there is research and studies that show that even just focusing on your breath for a few minutes can help you feel a little bit more calm. So hopefully you followed with me or stayed with that same rhythm. We've got about 2 more breaths left. So maybe make them your biggest ones yet. And we'll take one last breath together. Inhale. Hold at the top. And exhale through the other nostril. Once you've done with all 10 breaths, we're going to bring both hands onto our knees, palms face upwards to face the ceiling, almost surrendering into your space, the universe, whichever thing you want to believe in. And we're going to slowly observe the body. So maybe noticing the thoughts now. So we focus on the body scan and the breath. Maybe take awareness to the mind and notice how you're feeling, what you're feeling. Are there any thoughts that are going through your head? Little mini meditation before we start flowing. One more breath. And I want you to sigh out your exhale. Okay, from here, we're going to come into our tabletop position. So slowly unroll. Good. And we're going to come into our tabletop position. Good. So untuck the toes. We're going to have nice flat feet. Good. And then as we inhale, we're slowly going to arch the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Good. And maybe start to look forwards. Maybe you're not ready to look up just yet, but looking forwards, opening through the chest, letting the heart open. And as we exhale, we're going to round the spine and let the head hang heavy. We're going to shake yes and no, just to release the cervical spine. Inhale, we find cow pose once again. This time maybe looking up towards the ceiling. Nice stretch for the front of the neck. And as we exhale, we bow down, arching the back, or rounding the back rather. And again, shake yes and shake no. Good. As we inhale, we're going to come back to a neutral tabletop. We're going to flex the feet. And as we exhale, we're going to find our downward facing dog. Now, with the downward facing dog, I don't want you to think about it being a hamstring stretch. So I want you to bend the knees as much as possible. And we're just going to focus on having a lengthened spine and to bring our heads below the heart. So where we're inverted in this way, and actually downward facing dog is an inversion pose because we're upside down, the blood is going to rush to the head. And we're going to get this new influx of oxygen, a new influx of energy, and a nice flow of that good, energy that's coming down from the heart. And inversions are always renowned for making you feel better. So we're going to stay here for 2 more breaths. Lifting the tailbone up. Good. And shoulders down to lengthen through the spine. And again, your head should feel nice and heavy. Neck is nice and relaxed, so much so that you can shake yes and shake no. Good. Nice. Slowly and gently, we're going to walk the feet towards the top of the mat. Nice. And once you're here, we're going to find a ragdoll position. So I want you to either hug opposite elbows, or if you feel like it, maybe give yourselves a hug, hugging the knees. And again, our heads are below the heart, so we are inverted in this position. So take 2 full breaths and exhale. Nice. From here, just plant the palms down. So if you need to soften the knees, and we're going to take a huge step back with the right foot, dropping the right knee down and relaxing the right foot. Good. And as we inhale, we're going to bring hands up and introduce a small back bend to find our crescent lunge pose. So the small back bend is going to open up the heart. That's going to bring in feelings of love and joy. And we're stretching through the hips, which tend to hold on to a lot of emotional tension. So if you're feeling really emotional, hip release is great. Going to stay here looking up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're just going to bring both hands down to frame the front ankle. Good. And then we're going to take the left foot back to meet the right in our downward facing dog. From here, as you inhale, chest lifts, chin lifts. And as we exhale, we're going to bring both chest and chin down to the mat. As we inhale, find your cobra pose. Nice gentle back bend, stretching the front as well. And if you can, roll the shoulders back, opening the chest as well, spreading collarbones wide. As we exhale, Whichever way works for you, we're going to find downward facing dog. So I went through tabletop, and again, we want to focus on the inversion part of downward facing dog as opposed to the hamstring stretch. So bend your knees as much as you can. One more breath. And exhale. Good. As we next inhale, we're slowly going to walk the feet again to the top of the mat to find our ragdoll position, or a gentle forward fold. So I'm going to hug my knees. Big squeeze, big self-love moment. And exhale. Good. Planting the palms down, so again, you need to soften the knees. We're going to take a huge step back with the left foot this time. Again, drop the left knee and relax the left foot. As we inhale, hands come up to the sky. Introduce a small back bend to find low crescent lunge. This is also known as a moon crescent pose as well. As you can tell, we're hopefully forming the shape, or we're trying to form a shape of a crescent moon. And moon energy is associated with that solemn, calm energy. So anywhere where we're channeling that moon pose or energy is where we're going to find some nice, calm feelings. And again, we're opening up the chest, so opening out the heart, finding space for some love. And as we exhale, we're going to bring hands back down to the mat. And again, we're going to take that right foot back to meet the left in our tabletop position. Again, we're going to go through that nice vinyasa, nice gentle vinyasa. So as we inhale, chest and chin lifts. And as we exhale, dropping chin and chest down. Inhale through to find cobra. Again, I want you to think about elbows back and straight, shoulders open to open out the collarbones and chest. Exhale, we find downward facing dog. So take your time. I'm going through tabletop. Good, and nice bent knees. Take an inhale. And exhale. Good. Slowly and gently just bring the knees down. Good. And at this point, you might need to face horizontal on your mat. So I'll give you time to take your phone or anything with you. We want to have cushioning for our knees. We're going to find frog pose next, which is an intense hip opener, but it's renowned for making you feel calm, for bringing emotions to the surface so that you can deal with them. So how you're going to get into this pose is you're going to start to walk the knees out as far as flexibility allows. So take your time. Once your knees are as far apart as you feel comfortable, we're going to take the feet slightly outside of the line of the knee. So at this point, you're going to understand why it's called frog pose, because you're going to look like a frog. And then slowly and gently, we're going to come down onto the forearms. Just take your time. And you're going to feel this straight away in the inner thighs and the hips. And we're going to stay here for 5 full breaths. So take an inhale. Try to keep the lips sealed when you're breathing in. And exhale. Good. And if you can, if it's in your practice, maybe you start to utilize your ujjayi breath, which is where you constrict the base of the throat, which just helps to keep heat in the body. We're going to stay still in this position, so you might start to feel a little bit cool or colder. So where you can use ujjayi breath, and it sounds a little bit like you're snoring. That's the kind of motion or the kind of breath that you want to find. That's what it sounds like if you can hear that breath. And that also helps to find some calmness and gives you something else to focus on. So we're going to have 2 more full breaths here. And you might notice that the knees start to slowly drift a little bit wider. We've got gravity on our side here, which is going to help to open out the hips a little bit further. One more full breath, make it your best one yet. Good. Slowly and gently we're going to come out of this frog pose. So really take your time. It's a really intense pose to come out of. So slowly walk the knees in together. Good. And then we're slowly going to come to lie down on our backs. Good. Once you're here, we're going to squeeze these into the chest. And you can cross them just to counteract that frog pose and squeeze them back into the chest. Nice. Slowly and gently, we're just going to release the feet down and bend knees. So from here, I just want you to tickle your heels or brush your fingertips on your heels just to make sure that we're kind of got the right alignment, or that we're that far away. And then we're slowly going to suck belly button into the spine. So we want to have a nice neutral pelvis. And as we inhale, we're slowly going to lift the pelvis up. We're going to take a restorative bridge. So what I want you to do is lift the pelvis as high as you can take it. Your hip bones should be so far up that you can't see your knees anymore. And then we're slowly going to bring the hands underneath the sacrum. The elbows will be close together at this point. And we're just going to try to dump the weight onto the hands. And the point of this bridge pose is to open out the chest. So the shoulders should be rolled back. And again, what you'll notice is that there's a downward kind of slope from your chest to your head. So again, we're encouraging that flow of energy, of blood, of oxygen. All of that's going to go towards your head, and it's going to help you feel a little bit better. And also restorative bridge, so you're going to feel nice and calm in any kind of restorative pose. But we're going to stay here for a few moments. So while we're here, while the chest is open, I want you to visualize, or I want you to picture something that you love, maybe someone that you love, that you can dedicate your practice to. And even just that motion, or that kind of moment where you start to think of something. It could be your favorite cup of coffee, or your favorite pet, or maybe someone. It could be a family member, your significant other. Just that feeling, or that moment where you start to picture that, can do wonders for your emotions, or how you're feeling, or how you even look at things. So this is the moment in the practice where we can really take the time to do that. Good, we're going to go one more breath. And as you exhale, slowly release yourself back down to the mat. Once you're here, we're going to squeeze knees into the chest. Option for you, you can take happy baby. Take the soles of the feet up to the sky. And grab the outside of your feet. Good. Oh, my lower back just cracked there, which was really nice. And we're going to stay here to counteract that bridge pose. So the bridge pose is a gentle back bend. So to round the spine in the other direction is always good to find balance. Good. And when you're ready, we're slowly going to bring the legs down to find our final resting pose. So you can either take Shavasana, which is our traditional lying down pose here, or you can take a supine butterfly pose. So bring the soles of the feet to touch, knees rest wide. And after that frog pose, you're going to find your hips a little bit more open to do this. And we're going to stay here for a few moments to kind of let the body relax and recover. And the whole premise of yoga is to prepare the body for meditation. So when you flow and you release some of those blockages in those energy channels we talked about earlier, you find that the mind is in a bit more of a restful state. So this is the point of the practice where you can really start to observe what is going on in the head. How are you feeling? What thoughts are going through your head? You might have random thoughts like, oh, I forgot to pick up milk earlier at the supermarket. Or you might have certain emotions or feelings that you might want to address. And it's perfect for when your mind is feeling a little bit relaxed like this, where you can actually start to think of those things. So we're going to take a few moments to really start to listen to ourselves and start to relax. Maybe you can notice how the body is feeling at this point after a few movements. And if you struggle to find something to focus on, maybe you can take awareness to the breath. Notice how that's feeling and how the heartbeat is feeling. And that's also going to help you relax as well when you can focus on that rhythm. So just a few more moments just to devote time to yourself. And you'll notice I'm being a lot more silent than I usually am, just to give you the time to reflect. Okay, so you can choose to stay here for a little bit longer. Or if you like, you can follow me. So I'm in supine butterfly. I'm going to slowly bring my knees back together. And in your own time, we are going to come back to the comfortable seated position we found at the start of the practice. And once you're here, we're just going to bring one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly to close our practice. So I want you to notice the rhythm of your breath and your heartbeat if you can find it. And that's just a pointer, a marker, a reminder for how alive we are today. I want you to take awareness to the body. Notice how alive you are today, this week, this month, this year. And be grateful for that body, for being able to move, for being able to live, breathe, think. And then slowly we're going to take awareness to the mind and be grateful for your awareness, for how alive you are, and also for it to be able to feel all the types of emotions, whether you're sad, happy, angry, calm, all the emotions. We are capable of feeling so many different things. And then slowly together, we're going to bring hands to touch, thumbs to eyebrow center, to bow down and close our practice. Thank you so much for flowing with me today. I hope you feel a little bit better. I feel super, super calm right now. I've almost forgotten my words. And I hope to see you again on the mat sometime soon.